back, you all, again to Inspired Minds 360 podcast.
Most black women who date non-black men, are with these men mainly because these men share similar life goals, morals, and values. It's not really for monetary reasons, at least in my case, and those other black women that I do know who are in interracial relationships. Most black American women are extremely desperate. Most black American women are the most desperate women, in my opinion, on the planet. Okay? It only takes one Asian man to go on YouTube and to say something as ridiculous as I love black women or black women are beautiful for black women to go crazy. Then you even have black women who are married to men who are Asian who come on YouTube and talk about how to approach an Asian man, or look, I'm a black woman, I'm with an Asian male, you can be too. This is absolutely ridiculous. The majority of black American women have absolutely no chance of dating outside of their race. Black American women have absolutely no idea how the world perceives them, and they definitely have no idea how Asian Americans perceive them, okay? Most Asian Americans in this country have a bad perception of black Americans, okay? You know what? Most people who are not black have a bad perception of black Americans, okay? I'm not talking about Jamaicans or Haitians or those from the Caribbean, okay? Or those from the Dominican Republic, those from Africa, or those who are first or second generation Africans like myself. I'm talking about black American women who happen to be descendants of black West African slaves, okay? These women are different type of women, okay? They are damaged women that come from urban black neighborhoods, and majority of the time, or probably more than 90% of the time, are raised by either a single mother or grandparent. That's why, in my opinion, these women are really the most dangerous type of women to date, okay? Most people believe that being with a black woman, black American woman, equates failure, because most people see black people and they see just failure. I mean, it's been over 40 years since civil rights, and black people today are in a worse situation that they have ever been in before. Sure, people can make the excuses about slavery and the effects of Jim Crow laws, but really there's no excuse to be at the bottom. When I met my husband, I never, ever, and I still am to this day, not interested in Asian culture. Why? Because I have my own culture. See, I know what country I come from. I have my own culture. I know my own language. Most black American women don't have any of this. So they cling on to something that has nothing to do with them. Most black American women, they're not good women. They're not eligible women. Most of them, they don't know how to speak proper English. They're extremely rude. They're very loud. And they're just not eligible women. Nobody wants these women, and I can completely understand it. I mean, I live in a neighborhood where it's majority white and Asian, okay? If I was living in a black neighborhood, it would be chaos. And that's what you see coming from black America today. Every black American neighborhood is in ruins. It's the worst, it's the most dangerous type of neighborhood there is. Nobody aspires to be like black Americans, okay? Nobody.
So there you have it. I mean, how do you all feel about certain things that she was saying in terms of the black American, the African American community? Because she kind of, in a certain way, she bigged up people from different parts of the world, from the different, the African diasporic world, from the Caribbean islands, from South America, from Africa XYZ, but she took a negative spin on the African American community, especially the women. So give me your take on that. How do you feel about that?
I don't really have a summary on how I feel about it. Okay, there's not an eloquent summary on how I feel about it. There's just, I don't agree with a lot of things that she said. Now, some of the things that she said is valid, but then she goes and kind of discredits the argument. And then she goes in and just proceeds to tear down an entire race of women, which I don't agree with, because I wouldn't go and say, well, all Africans are extremely shallow and materialistic. I wouldn't say that, even though I do know that there are a lot of women who are shallow and materialistic who just so happen to be African.
Who come from the African world, right? Right.
And I wouldn't say that about all of you, because that's not all of you. So I don't think that it was fair that she would say all that stuff to generalize us, especially referring to us as the lowest, because I don't believe that we are the lowest as far as anything for that matter. And then what kills me is if you guys actually scroll down the comments, you see the Red Pill crew who are down there. That's why we left the country, or yeah, you're right, everything you said was 100% correct, and you know, different things like that. I don't know why people decide they want to become thumb thugs and keyboard warriors. But sure, we can go ahead and we can go there. So you can have your opinion on Black American women if you want to, but the fact of the matter is you're not one, and you definitely can't take it upon yourself to talk about our struggle and then tell us what we can or can't complain about. Right.
Now, I want to jump in there and interject real quick, because I think that, again, the young lady, at the end of the day, definitely should have addressed certain things. Now, you cannot just, well, you can, but it's not right to jump on your platform and disrespect the African American woman like that, because you have to know the plight of the African American in the U.S. and you didn't touch on that, which is why I have a problem with what you said at the end of the day.
Oh no, she touched on it.
Well, she touched on it, but she didn't go into the in depth to say and to explain that, hey, what you're seeing now is an effect caused by slavery, an effect caused by Jim Crow, an effect caused by certain things, which is why you're seeing certain African American people. You can't just label all African American people at the end of the day, because here my thing. Yes, you bigged up the Caribbean islands. Thank you for that. But there's some toxicity in our community as well. Yeah. There's toxicity in the South American community. There's toxicity in the African community. There is that. Now, you may be expressing that, or she may be expressing that for the mere fact that she may live in America and may have had a bad experience with an African American female, which is why she's saying that.
I've had a bad experience with an African. You don't see me getting on a platform and getting on a soapbox and downing the entire race of Africans.
Okay, makes sense.
That doesn't... She did address it. She said, oh, and you guys, you can't blame slavery, you can't blame Jim Crow, and you can't blah, 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 whatever she said. So she definitely did go ahead and address it, but she's already cutting it off as if it's something that she doesn't want to hear, as if she just hears it all the time. But you can tell that she doesn't really necessarily do any necessarily
research,
necessarily a lot of research on
right, and that's why
in order for her to sit up there and be comfortable talking the way that she is, it's kind of troubling.
Right.
Because for one, I don't consider myself a part of a percentage of anybody's lowest.
Okay.
I'm not any of the people that she actually described the entire time that she was talking.
Right.
And if we're being perfectly honest, she sounds like she might be a bit jealous and is looking to get on her soapbox to put a entire race of women down to make herself feel better. Right.
And you notice in one of the comments, someone said, it's funny how everyone wants to imitate Black American culture and whatnot. And, you know, you have people like her who jump on there and speak negatively about the African American woman. Me, myself, you know, I could say that, okay, I've had good and bad experiences, you know, with certain people of the African diaspora community, whether it be African, whether it be Caribbean, whether it be African American, whether it be Afro-Latino, whatever the case may be. Before you get up there and you decide to speak on that, do some research do proper research before you speak on that, because then you come off as though you're hating, or you come off as though you're disgruntled for some reason.
And she probably is.
And she should have said that. If there was an issue, say that. Don't come on and say, well, African American women. Say, listen, XYZ happened to me. This is why I feel the way I feel about, these people.
But this ain't a blog thing where she's just talking about, oh, my experience with this one person. You decided that you wanted to get on here and talk about an entire race of people as if you done met everybody.
Right, exactly.
So,
this is wrong.
My thing is, sure, she comes off that way. She comes off as a bitter individual.
Right.
And she may feel like she's made a few points and she knows that she's, what she's talking about or whatever. But here's the thing. You don't need research to know that you are going to have a disagreement or a bad experience with another human being. It doesn't take research to know that you're probably going to have a bad... I can have a bad experience right now with a Hispanic person. But that's just people. I can have a bad experience with another Black American person.
Right.
I have had bad experiences with other Black American people. And you don't see me on here, these Negroes, they just out here. I'm so sick of them. Can't take them nowhere. They all ignorant. Because that's not how I feel about the people.
Right.
I don't feel that way about any particular race of people where I'm just going to throw them all under not even white people.
Right.
I don't even feel that way about them. Because, sure, I've had some bad experiences.
Right.
But I've also had some good experience, because that's how the human experience is. You're gonna have personality clashes or whatever. So I don't think it really takes research for her to actually have some decency about herself and treat people like what they are, people.
Right.
She sat up there and talked about us like we were dogs.
Right.
Like we were just scum of the earth.
And don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, to me, even if she witnessed or has witnessed things in the African American community that would make her come out and say, well, listen, maybe through my experience, I have lived in a predominant African American community, and I've seen certain things that, bother me or make me think of these people a certain way. What I'm saying is address that same thing in the other communities, because we do have that. Again, as I said before, in the Caribbean community, we have toxicity. In the African community, we have toxicity. In the Afro-Latino community, we have toxicity. We have a lot of self-hatred. All those things are things that she should have also touched on, which makes me think that, again, she has had a negative experience, maybe with an African-American female, which is why she jumped up on her platform and said what she said. I mean, to my people out there of the African-American community, I feel as though this is something that we need to stop doing. We need to stop, putting each other under the microscope as she did. At the end of the day, yes, we are from the same tree, different branches, if you want to say so to speak. And we need to acknowledge, to me, that if you're going to put one group under the microscope, put everyone under the microscope. So you can't set yourself aside and say because you know your language and your culture, then that makes you better than somebody. It does not make you better than somebody.
Or you could just shut up.
Well, that too.
Like, it does not pay to just tear a whole group of people down. Like, if you feel like you have to do that in order to make yourself feel better, maybe you need to look inside you. Something's wrong with you.
That could be true. True.
So, ma'am, kindly just shut the F up forever.
And and again, that's the sentiment of some people. But we want to bring that to your attention because we found, like I said, we saw this video and we wanted to address that and the young lady in the video, because we don't give that a thumbs up, we give that a thumbs down. Next time or in future, anyone, please do your research before you just get up there and start spewing out a bunch of negativity, certain group of people. Anyway, we are out. We'll see you on the next episode of Inspired Minds 360 Podcast. We're out. Later.